There are a lot of myths in different cultures concerning worm-like beings, although sometimes they're more serpents or dragons that can move through the sky.
We looked up in the sky and all of a sudden we saw this kind of anomalous feature and didn't know really what it is.
What the is that thing? It's just worming through the air.
I was in, shock. I wasn't sure what I was witnessing or videotaping. What else is happening here in Montana?
Countless passengers travel across the world, but only a few are lucky enough to witness the extraordinary, otherworldly, and inexplicable.
Looks like wires, maybe?
So let's take a look at the moment a flight passenger caught that can't go unnoticed. A strange sight graced the skies of England when locals spotted a massive winged creature flying through the clouds, flapping its huge, jagged wings gracefully, and its long tail whipping about. Netizens could only think about one thing: a dragon. Looking like it escaped from the set of Game of Thrones, it's not surprising for this mysterious beast to make its appearance in England, which has a long history of dragons in their folklore and mythology. What do you guys think? Could it be an actual real-life dragon or just clever CGI? Flying humanoid. Have you ever seen something so bizarre it looked like it was straight out of a movie? Well, that's exactly what some Russian locals witnessed when this creature appeared in the sky, looking like the Green Goblin from the 2002 Spider-Man movie. The entity was seen squatting in the middle of the sky. It looked like some type of alien with its cone-shaped head and what looked like a muscular body. And what was even stranger was that it appeared to move backward while staying in the same position. People had a lot to say. Many believed it was an extraterrestrial invader, while others thought it was a humanoid-shaped helium balloon. Spinning UFO.
Oh my god, that's so scary. What is that?
In December of 2023, residents of California were gripped by the sight in the night sky. An oddly shaped object appeared to be rotating slowly in the sky. A close-up of the thing showed streaks of red glowing lights on its sleek black body. It didn't look man-made from any angle, rather something from outer space, as the witnesses were convinced. Have aliens finally arrived on Earth, or is this some portal into another world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Oh my god. Like, I'm not tripping, right? What is that?
Flying with a plane. Have you ever gazed up at a passing airplane and caught something really weird happening around it? That's exactly what happened when this guy noticed a strange black object speeding alongside a plane. The object was so fast that it even surpassed the plane before finally disappearing into the clouds, leaving the cameraman shocked. An alien aircraft, an angel, or an entity entirely beyond our imaginations? My guess is as good as yours. Disc-like object. While enjoying the perks of the window seat, an airline passenger had a bizarre encounter. A black disc-like object was flying dangerously close to the plane. Judging by its shape, it could only be a UFO, and everyone else seemed convinced. While some skeptics said this was edited, the light reflecting off the UFO and the glare on the window made it hard to doubt its authenticity. Hovering around the aircraft for some time, it suddenly vanished from sight, never to be seen again. But leaving us all with this incredible video that will continue to captivate viewers. Angry sky. You know your day is going to be bad when even the sky is making faces at you. A guy captured this strange sight from his apartment balcony in London. Apparently, two bright red lights were glowing up there, and it strangely resembled a grumpy face. Some said it was a reflection on the window. Others suggested it was the face of an angry angel. but the source of the lights has remained unknown.
Oh my God!
Electric hand. Lightning flashes are a common weather phenomenon we're all familiar with, but the one that this man recorded on his camera has something bizarre going on with it. A blue electric light appeared in the Arizona skies. Unlike an ordinary flash, it shot upwards into the sky from a low-hanging cloud. A close-up of the phenomenon revealed a giant hand appearing in the sky where the light was seen going in. You have to agree, it looked like aliens ran out of fuel on their visit and decided to suck up some energy from our planet. However, local folks thought it was just an otherworldly entity, making an unexpected appearance, while others believed it to be an elaborate hoax. Angel in the cloud. If you think you know everything about the skies, then this video will definitely shock you. A man in Texas spotted an odd white figure in the sky. At first, he thought it was just a cloud shaped like an angel. But as he continued to watch, he noticed that it was flapping its wings, confirming it was a living being. Social media users thought it could either be an angel or even a fairy, judging from the delicate way it was fluttering its wings. Whatever it was, it tells us that there is a lot more to reality than we think. Flight window UFO.
Michelle Reyes was flying over New York City with her daughter, and she was sitting by a window. When she did what a lot of us do, we, take pictures out the window, nice video of the New York skyline. It's an amazing view. But what Michelle did not expect to see was a cylinder-shaped object.
While flying over New York City, a woman filmed this fast-moving, cylinder-shaped object outside her window near LaGuardia Airport. When an expert analyzed the video, they found no signs of a hoax and confirmed the object wasn't a bug or typical drone due to its speed. What made this strange sighting significant was the fact that other passengers on the flight confirmed seeing the same object. Searching for answers, she reported the sighting to the aviation authorities and waited for the results.
I realized that I had something like this on the video. The first thing I did was I emailed the FAA to let them know what I saw and maybe it was a safety hazard. And then I sent it to Enigma Labs and the National UFO Database.
Flying anomaly.
I see the weirdest thing upstairs.
A man in Thailand was enjoying the view from the top floor of a building when he noticed something puzzling in the sky. The object appeared to shine and change colors. Its shape unlike anything from this world, hovering motionlessly. Netizens had mixed reactions, with some believing it was a glitch in the Matrix, while others were convinced it was a UFO keeping an eye on us from above.
And that thing is doing stuff, changing colors up there.
Flicking aircraft. Have a look at this clip recorded in Brazil, where the night sky became lit with a bizarrely glowing object. It looked like an orb with 2 legs. I gotta say, it sure had some fancy lighting going on. Locals suggested it was indeed a UFO. Well, I had this idea that these aliens would want to be discreet if they ever decided to descend on us. But I think these guys are way bolder than we could have thought. The flicking bright lights are just too obvious. However, skeptics thought the clip could be a hoax, leaving another mystery with no good answer. Behind the sun. In April 2024, while recording the beautiful summer sky, a guy captured something completely mind-boggling. A humanoid figure appeared to be walking behind the sun, the silhouette of his head and torso clearly visible. The video led to a frenzy of speculation, with some people wondering if we're living in a simulation. And this guy had come to check the light bulb, which is the sun for us. While others thought this was a sign of the end times, appearing this big behind the sun, the earth will easily fit in the palm of his hand. Walk in the sky. In Alabama, clouds parted to reveal an illuminated spot in the sky, and what happened next shocked the locals. 2 shadowy humanoid figures appeared walking between the clouds. At first there was only one, but it was soon followed by another. Wild theories came to the surface as the video hit the internet, with some believing that these were angels descending into the sky, while some skeptics thought it was just an editing trick. Whatever it was, the actual details remained a mystery. A few days later, this image surfaced on the internet showing a giant shadowy figure walking on the clouds. It was captured by a plane passenger who said it looked like the robot from the movie Iron Giant. Could this mean giant robots have taken up residence in the clouds? Supernatural figure. A man was outside his house in Burbank, California when he saw this. The unidentified shape in the sky looked like a person descending from the clouds. The shocked guy told his family he thought it was Jesus Christ. The figure kept getting closer and closer before disappearing behind the house. After the video hit the internet, the possibility of deflating balloons was raised as a potential explanation for the floating humanoid. However, when the guy went behind his house to investigate, he didn't find anything. Living near an airport, no drones were allowed, ruling out that possibility as well. So, what do you think it was? A divine being or some otherworldly creature? Twilight Zone. This next clip eerily looks like the calm before a storm. A crack appeared in our seamless sky, glowing an angry red as if it was on fire. A huge black was making a circular opening, with 2 orange spots of light burning within. Wild theories flew around after the clip debuted online. Some netizens thought it was an ominous sign of the end of times, while others were pretty sure it was an intergalactic portal. And obviously it reminded some of time travel. But without further proof, it has remained a mystery. Pink disc. Last year, a flight passenger flying over Tennessee had a very unusual encounter. Looking out the window, he saw this bright pink disc in the cloud. Judging by its small size, it couldn't be another aircraft or a drone. Even though it sounded weird, the guy was sure it was an otherworldly spacecraft drifting through our airspace. And I'm not sure if we can completely dismiss the idea, as our skies have pretty much become the stage for such bizarre sightings. Shooting light. Back in September 2021, residents of Queens, New York City witnessed a bright, mysterious light shot toward the ground. It lit up the sky and the surrounding area, leaving people scared of an impending alien invasion. And with all the recent commotion, it wouldn't be too far off. With no bad weather to blame, nobody had a clear idea where the light had come from. Some speculated extraterrestrial origin, while others chalked it up to some secret military weapon testing. But weapon testing in a residential area sounded very unlikely. So let me know what you think of this shooting light. Angels.
Eric, that remarkable cloud formation was caught on camera not far from the Ferraro family home.
It seems like this business is booming for the angels as more and more of them are appearing in our skies. Or maybe they've just become a bit careless. From giant winged figures to flying humanoids, and even cherubs were seen in the sky, leaving people around the world shocked. Some internet folks even thought a disaster was about to strike. Another similar sighting was made by a man in Texas who uploaded a picture of an angel-shaped cloud that went viral. While people might say that this was a coincidence or just a weird cloud formation, the cameraman seemed pretty sure that he witnessed a divine moment that would remain with him for the rest of his life.
We were not looking forward to it because we had an uncertainty about, like, okay, well, what is this even about?
Mysterious UFO.
All on the Ring camera detection. Now watch this, the next one.
Putting up a Ring camera, this Texas guy never imagined of catching a potential alien visit. But this is exactly what happened when he was going through the footage and found this. In the darkness of the night, suddenly a big burst of light appeared in his neighbor's front yard. highlighting a very weird presence up in the sky. A giant coffee pod-shaped thing hovered above the house.
The hell? Pause it on that.
Thinking it resembled a UFO, he posted the clip online, putting the internet in charge of identifying it. Netizens suggested his neighbor might be involved with some alien activity, but with no proof, it just remained a suspicion.
Yo.
He lit up the whole street. Look how big this thing is.
Splitting UAP. A guy waiting in a parking lot saw something unbelievable in the sky. Out of nowhere, a bright ball appeared, and within seconds it started to break apart in smaller ones that just disappeared out of sight. What happened next will definitely leave you with a bunch of questions. Along with the tiny split balls, the whole thing vanished. As the clip made rounds on the internet, people thought if this was a craft controlled by an other-dimensional entity. And I don't think that's entirely wrong, seeing the way it moved in the air without any visible system. Serpentine Lights. Ever look up at the sky and saw a serpent slithering there? This happened when a guy in Malaysia took out his camera to capture the unusually bright sky and saw this. A whole bunch of blue lights were seen glowing in a long snake-like shape, appearing and disappearing. The lights made for quite a bizarre sight. Then, after a few seconds, the sky turned dark, but the blue glow still shone. I can't decide if it's some mythical creature making an appearance or something we are unable to comprehend. But it's no fun to see these unexplainable things in the heavens above. Creepy lightning. There's no lack of bizarre phenomena on Earth that will leave you thoroughly creeped out. Like this one, recorded in Mexico near a hillside. A hiker came across this sight. The sky above the hill had turned orange and flashed every now and then. And as far as I know, these flashes don't cast a shadow on mountains. But this one did. The center of the hill burned with the same bright glow in the sky. Netizens thought aliens were visiting was the only good explanation, as Mexico had an endless history with such sightings. Light pillars. A few years back, a very strange sight graced the skies of Jeju Island in South Korea. These mysterious vertical beams of light appeared out of nowhere in the night sky, and no one had a clear idea what it was. Many locals thought a fleet of UFOs was over their heads. The clip went viral online, and the incident just escalated when these exact pillars were sighted again a couple months later, and this time in Finland. These ones seem closer to the ground here. These multiple sightings led people to believe if their origin was really extraterrestrial. But soon, this theory was debunked when someone said this was actually a natural phenomenon seen in extremely cold regions. Giant shadow. The internet broke into a frenzy over this clip, thinking this was another sighting of a giant on a hill. A shadowy giant humanoid figure was seen on top of the hill, a perfect place for these elusive beings. But before you go and believe the theory, this giant figure was actually one of the rarest natural phenomenons in works, known as Broken Spectre. It was actually the magnified shadow of a hiker casted midair on a cloud opposite to a strong light source. That was the sun in this case. Ginder Woo. If you think creatures from folklores are just that, myths, well, then you've got to watch this footage. After hearing loud noises from outside, this man went out to check and found a giant shadowy human-like figure lurking in the darkness behind the house. At first, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was only later when he identified that this was actually a Ginder Woo, a mythical creature from Indonesian folklore, known for its terrifying appearance and supernatural abilities. The guy claimed the footage wasn't manipulated at all, meaning it couldn't be a hoax. zipping light. Sometimes the best footage comes from the most unexpected moments. While filming herself outside, a girl accidentally captured a dazzling light streaking across the night sky. This phenomenon, witnessed across Portugal and Spain, lit up the sky a startling blue, leaving a glowing red tail behind. Stunned locals wanted answers, and it turns out the object was a small piece of a comet that was traveling over 100,000 miles per hour. The video went viral, with many envious of the girl's lucky catch, and some even called her the main character. Falling webs. If you want to see something other than rain falling from the sky, you need to move to California. People were shocked when they found the skies raining something strange. Witnesses said it was similar to spider webs. Seeing sticky webs falling from the sky, people thought it could be a sign of the approaching end times. But experts were quick to point out what it really was. The web-like thing came from a process called ballooning, in which baby spiders use their silk to drift in the warm wind, and that silk ends up falling on the ground.
They'll get up on something and reel out a long, fluffy thread and go flying.
Simulation sky.
That is some kind of an artificial?
Lately, there has been a theory going around online that our reality is merely a simulation. And this guy here seemed to have captured proof of this theory. Basically, a glitch in the Matrix, if you will. Apparently, a bizarre flaw appeared in the sky, with seemingly tiny circuits coming to life. It looked like it was disconnected and was reconnecting, and it spread outward like the simulation sky was rebooting. He got another shot near the sun. Netizens seem to doubt the authenticity of the clip, but if it's any real, then we've all been living a lie, that's for sure.
Looks like wires, maybe?
Purple glow. A guy's walk home from work unexpectedly turned into an encounter with the unknown. Noticing the sky lighting up in strange colors, he pulled out his camera and recorded this.
What the f is going on?
The heavens above were lit with a purple glow. The guy thought it might just be his camera tripping at first, but seeing the color change from purple to blue to green, he couldn't explain what he was seeing. Posting the clip online, he left it up to the internet to identify it. UFO, multidimensional portal, or some prank? These were the guesses. Now you tell me which one you find the most reasonable. Pointer laser communication.
Era verde fosforescente.
If there are any aliens out there, then this time right now is the start of an era. And basically, here's how we can communicate with extraterrestrials. A group out visiting Nazca at night made an extraordinary discovery. Using a pointer laser, they used it to spell out some kind of a Morse code in the sky. And it worked when a small glowing orb appeared in the sky. Did these guys just summon a UFO? The object blinked according to the pointer laser, and then, after a few seconds, it just disappeared. Well, real UFO or not, it's sure a fun way to use a pointer laser.
Sí, está grabando, está grabando.
Strange lights. A man was out chilling in his backyard when his evening routine took a mysterious turn. In the stormy sky, he spotted strange flickering lights that almost looked like crystals. He uploaded the video online, leaving the netizens in charge of identifying the mysterious lights. While some joked about an epic battle taking place in the sky, others thought these were angels in the sky. One person pointed out that this was a rare natural phenomenon, and that the guy was quite lucky to have witnessed it. Mysterious spiral.
So we were driving down the Dempster Highway, and Talia was just getting some rest, and I noticed just a blue swirl cyclone in the sky.
A couple was driving down the Dempster Highway in Canada when they noticed this giant cyclone swirl casting a blue glow in the sky. It appeared as if a portal had opened up above, leading to another dimension maybe. Netizens quickly put forward their own theories about time travel, UFOs, and black holes. But an expert cleared the confusion, saying there was a SpaceX launch a few days prior, and this swirl resulted from its fuel dump. But internet folks didn't really believe this, convinced that the government was trying to cover up this mysterious occurrence.
It was just magical, absolutely magical, just because like you're surrounded by like the Patagonia of Canada.
Falling lights. In Homestead, Florida, a man witnessed a strange phenomenon in the sky. At first, a single light appeared to be streaking across the sky as if it dropped from a great height. Then suddenly it split into numerous orbs that too continued towards the Earth's surface before coming to a halt, floating in the sky like glowing parachutes. Some internet folks said they too witnessed similar incidents and wondered if this was an alien invasion. And like any other mystery, there were also skeptics saying the orbs were just skydivers. Who's to say anymore with countless unidentified crafts like this moving around our skies? UFO Fleet. A skywatcher was out in West Oahu, Hawaii, when he unexpectedly witnessed something a lot more than just star-filled sky. Among the still stars, it looked like a star moved. But as he zoomed in, he saw a whole lot of those moving things. No meteor shower or falling stars. The guy had no explanation for this other than unknown flying objects. And the fact that they seemed to ascend from the ground made it all the more mysterious. Theories about an extraterrestrial craft fleet spread like crazy, but no one was sure about the strange sight. Approaching lights. That wasn't the only time mystery approached Brazil. Here, have a look at another incident that left everyone puzzled. A homeowner looking out their window saw a set of 4 bright lights moving alongside each other. 3 of them seemed to be approaching the guy's house, while the 4th one moved backward, dimmed, and then completely disappeared. Can you imagine seeing something like this coming towards you? I can only imagine the horror the poor guy felt. No natural phenomena could explain the strange sight, and the idea of worldly aircraft flying this low didn't seem right. Mysterious sky activity. Take a look at what locals in Ukraine witnessed on a random weeknight. Suddenly, the sky turned red, and then a blue light shot up from the ground toward the sky and created a tower-like shape. Witnesses were left scared of the potential dangers of the unusual sight. Some people went overboard with their guesses, saying it was a portal communication between our world and another realm. Others thought of a secret government project. With no other sighting, the clip was never verified. Orange plume. UFOs and unknown objects aren't the only things zipping through our skies. A whole lot of other stuff has also been taking over. Like this odd-looking orange plume that hung in the air above a town in England. The bright smoke was a stark contrast to the mellow sky around it. When rumors about a nearby crash started to spread, locals contacted authorities and hoped to find out who it was. And the reason behind the orange smoke turned out to be an industrial incident involving release of a gas. Orange sky. This next clip might look like a scene from an apocalyptic movie. However, this was the reality of the entire Europe a couple years ago, when the sky above the residence turned orange. Here's what Spain looked like. Athens had the same look. Even the lush Swiss Alps had turned this sour color. Initially, people thought it was some natural sky phenomenon. However, this bizarre sight was due to the Sahara sand flying into the continent.
I don't know what it looks like on the video, but it's yellow.
Aside from restricting sunlight and increasing pollution, it was going to be a heck of a task to clean up all that dust. Solar flare. Is the sun letting out smoke? This might be your first thought after seeing this clip.
Fucking terrifying. Holy shit.
A cloud seemed to separate from the sun. But the truth was far different. The guy who captured this was sure he had witnessed a solar flare.
First on the bag, please. He's here. Hi.
An intense burst of radiation on the sun's surface. Many people had their reservations about the incident, with some saying it was just a cloud. Others believed the clip was nothing more than a hoax. UFO duo. While driving around the streets of London, a man came across a startling discovery. A story that will be passed down for generations. Two objects appeared to be hovering in plain sight in the evening sky, with the larger one following the smaller one, looking exactly like they do in the movies with glittering lights where the windows are supposed to be. Are they out looking for a good picnic spot, or maybe searching an easy target? Let's hope not. Mysterious lights. This video, making rounds on the internet, claimed to have captured mysterious lights in the sky, leaving people unsettled. At first, the sky appeared normal, just a regular day. But watch as the camera zoomed in. Strange spots of lights became visible, as if someone had poked holes in the seamless sky. Somebody commented that they looked like stars, which sounded unlikely in broad daylight, while others suggested they eerily resembled alien ships preparing for an attack. Later, when no armed aliens were seen roaming our streets, the possibility was ruled out. Moth Man. The Moth Man is a man-sized bird creature in West Virginia folklore from the late 20th century. But it seemed the Moth Man moved, as this video shot in Beijing, China, was believed to have captured the real-life Moth Man. A glowing object appeared to be hovering in the night sky. But as the camera zoomed in, it became clear that it was a humanoid. But no ordinary creature. You can clearly see it's flapping its wings as it glided through the sky. Skeptics doubted the clip due to its low quality and said it was just an ordinary moth or a blinking light from a drone. But the uploader was certain that what he recorded was the genuine Moth Man. Bright flash. A man was driving down a road in Russia when suddenly a brilliant orange light illuminated the sky and everything around, scaring the living daylights out of him. In search of answers, he uploaded the video online. The internet community has been going crazy, speculating what caused such a show. Some suggested it could be a meteor or space rock, but that was soon ruled out, as there would have been some sort of tail. Others believed it was a UFO blowing up, but whatever it was, the silence from the authorities unsettled many. Angel's shadow cloud. What's very positive about this sighting is, first off, it is of an angel, and secondly, the shadow is brighter than dark. In an undisclosed location in Russia, a man noticed a fly shadow of an angel. That looked like quite a cloud. It appeared and passed by far quicker than your average cloud. Most would ask if this was some case of divine intervention, where it looks like a making appearance sort of deal. Dragon or falling angel?
I don't think it's on the ground yet, but you can barely make it out. It's right there, right?
From what this looks like, it is either an awakening of a long hibernating dragon or a falling angel. A dash cam of a driver that was passing through a road in the countryside picked up a giant hunting entity that appeared in the sky with a loud growling sound.
I don't think it's on the ground yet, but you can barely make it out. It's right there, right?
It maintained its position just below the sun by constantly flapping its wings, using the brightness to its advantage. Now, even though no one was able to closely see or make of it, many are calling it to be a dragon, when in all honesty, it looks more like a supernatural entity. Caped Lightning Crusader. Unlike other entities hovering in the sky, being all to themselves, this one didn't seem to hesitate, showing its potential. A staff from an airport ground in France caught this small, intense moment on his camera, showing a bold figure that was idly standing high above in the sky, wearing a kind of cape. Seconds into the clip, a large lightning pops from right underneath it. Though most believe that this caped Crusader was the one to have been showing off its powers, others are under the impression that the lightning was just a coincidence. Flying Zerg. This flying alien captured on camera in downtown Shanghai startled a couple posing for selfies. Sporting a dragon-like appearance, it resembled a Zerg, a fictional species from the StarCraft video game series. With its tail twisted in the opposite direction, the creature appeared insectoid, prompting the couple to rush outside and film it. Zergs are renowned in the gaming world for their rapid reproduction, swarm tactics, and genetic adaptation prowess, rendering them formidable adversaries. While not truly a dragon, this encounter sparked speculation about extraterrestrial beings, igniting imaginations with visions of creatures from distant galaxies. Doorway to heaven. There's seemingly no other explanation besides it being the gateway to heaven, a notion few would dispute. In August 2019, a concerned citizen in Nebraska observed an extraordinary phenomenon in the cloudy sky.
These kind of storms, they have really powerful little pieces of cloud will travel up into those updrafts and then merge with the bigger cloud.
Alongside other onlookers, they witnessed a man-like figure ascending a staircase in the clouds. This surreal sight led many to ponder if it was a live feed depicting someone journeying towards the gates of heaven. While skeptics may offer alternative interpretations, this event resonated as a profound spiritual message to those who witnessed it, sparking contemplation about the mysteries of the afterlife and the boundless wonders of the universe. Flying tentacles? UFOs may have gotten too common for anyone to be interested or concerned. This, however, changes that. An unknown source recorded what looked like a really large and dark, oddly shaped object that was flying dozens of miles away. It was perceived to be anything from flying tentacles to giant limbs of shape-shifting beings, and of course, some type of flying vessel. Both the anomalies were flying together side by side and were maintaining altitude as well. Theories of most viewers range around aliens, possibly invading, but according to experts, this could have some classified high-tech aircraft that were being tested. Unidentified flying creature? Call it a large flying snake, or a case of extra-dimensional being slithering high in the sky. It definitely got spectators spooked apart from their attention. On September 20th, 2022, netizens, after witnessing the sighting of this snake-like object in the sky, were trying to make its true nature. Initially, some of the viewers claimed that this could very well be a kite, the possibility of which was ruled out as it was gigantic and as high in the sky as any passenger plane. Large Sky Serpent. If the game of snakes and ladders ever came into real life, it would look something like this. A Bedfordshire resident was shocked to encounter the sighting of a large Sky Serpent that was flying thousands of feet high up in the sky. Initially, he was on the fence of the massive creature to be some prop until he noticed it from much closer. According to him, the large serpent was flying sideways, bending and folding before straightening itself and calling it to be an actual being within the sky. Another UFO crossover. This wasn't just another UFO crossover, but also a close call. A Chinese private plane owner was flying by the countryside in southern China when his path crossed over a dark, shaded-looking flying saucer that appeared while was maneuvering around him at the same time. The almost well-rounded craft was moving supersonic that passed from above his plane. Now, what makes this crazy is that the pilot was focusing on gaining altitude, and his paths could have intersected at a point. One has to wonder how bizarre would a mid-air collision with a UFO be? A hovering humanoid figure. A simple fact that this figure looks too dark to be considered as a possible case of Jesus Christ returning. A bystander from an undisclosed location recorded this unrecognizable humanoid entity that was hovering several meters up in the sky and looking down at him. With it appearing just minutes before a complete sunset and remaining stationary, the dark made it virtually impossible to see the nature of the figure. With the bystander who didn't reveal much, nothing could be said from here on. Could it be a witch, or just a Frankenstein with a jetpack? Or maybe just an alien hanging out in low orbit? Moving portal. Strictly considering what can be seen in this clip, it's very safe to say that this was an actual portal fading out of existence. This old footage was taken and uploaded on social media in May 2010, showing a Chinook helicopter that was flying far away until it was followed by a fast-moving portal that was also shrinking out of existence. In doing so, the portal closed after nearing the helicopter and disappeared along with it. Considering how both disappeared together, the flying heli was taken into another dimension, if not abducted. Levitating entity. Apart from this being some levitating alien or otherworldly being, nothing else could make sense of it. A baffled pedestrian got to not only witness this spectacle, but also capture on his camera a large figure that was constantly ascending up and above in the sky next to a tall building. Many are calling this to be an abduction, since the creature can be seen attempting to resist the suction pull, which probably was emanating from an over UFO. The footage abruptly cuts off, leaving its actual nature or what happened to a total mystery. Descending humanoid. Either this is a man with a jetpack or a potential cause of concern for the public within the vicinity. A San Diego factory worker who, while returning back home after his shift, noticed and recorded a rare moment of a dark humanoid figure that was gradually descending down to the earth towards a fuel storage and processing facility. Initially, he took it to be some jetpack flying experiment, or perhaps even some heist in progress. However, from what it looks like, who or whatever this entity was, it most definitely looks to have sinister intentions about its landing destination. Stuck in sky. Looks like Santa may have accidentally left behind one of his reindeer that is now lost. A four-legged reindeer or horse was found stuck high in the sky and didn't seem to be able to make any move. Unlike other cases, it was visibly clear that this was an actual animal or figure stuck in the sky, and not that it was some cloud that was formed to look like one. What do you think this could have been? Please do share with us your opinion in the comments. Hovering wreckage debris. The mystery about this piece of wreckage is not just how it's defying gravity, but also about who or what it belongs to. A private plane pilot encountered this sizable debris suspended in the sky. Despite multiple passes, the pilot couldn't discern its nature or source. Running low on fuel, the pilot alerted the nearest air traffic controller, only for the wreckage to vanish mysteriously. Its unidentifiable nature and defiance of gravity suggests the possibility of UFO technology at play, adding another layer of intrigue to the perplexing incident. UFO skyscraper. While sightings of small UFOs have become routine, a notable event transpired in August 2018. A passenger captured footage of an enormous skyscraper-sized UFO perched motionless.
It's massive. It's the size of a skyscraper at least. It's a huge formation.
Atop clouds at an altitude exceeding 35,000 feet in Kumamoto, Japan. Initially dismissed as volcanic ash by meteorological experts and NASA, the absence of recent eruptions contradicted this explanation. Its substantial dimensions, immobility, and lack of residue or smoke dispelled any suspicions of a hoax. Given its static position and absence of emissions, the massive scale of the object surpassed the magnitude of most, if not all, previous UFO sightings. Sucked off board. Of all the risks that these lads may have calculated before and during the trip, outside pressure wasn't one of them. A group of elderly friends were enjoying a flyover trip in a small private plane, and one of them opened a small window of the plane to captivate the view. The rugged pull of the outside pressure instantly sucked his camera out of his hands, dropping into the desert below. Sometimes it is better to live and enjoy the moment than being too focused on capturing it and ending up like this. Unexpected breach. Most cases of the plane door being open mid-air are intentional. This breach was quite sudden and unexpected. A sudden pilot was in the midst of a session with his trainer up in the skies of Utah when the plane door suddenly opened on its own. The clip from March 27, 2023 shows the moment when the student reported attempting to fix a sensor reading when it happened. As a result, he had to battle the pressure to hold the door, at least with it not clicking in, and close it, while the instructor safely landed the plane. Crossing paths with saucer. Since this pilot may have filed his flight plan beforehand, he certainly wasn't expecting to get close to any of the flying crafts. Another small private plane pilot was enjoying the sunny skies until his path had a crossover with a dark, unidentified flying object. Despite the altitude of that craft being higher than the plane, it still resorted to an evasive maneuver. It is unknown if the saucer was trying to avoid being seen closely or was just avoiding a mid-air collision, especially since it was not seen by the pilot and also did not appear on the radar. Tic Tac UFO. This could have been anything from an unusual-looking UFO or just a glitch in the Matrix. A passenger from an unknown commercial airline shared this clip showing a large object that was not only rotating, but also jumping all over the area. Apart from this being a UFO that can only be described best as looking like a Tic Tac, no one can tell about its nature. However, with its visible shadow, it is clear that this was no hoax. Seems like the only fair argument for this could be that it was some alien craft that was malfunctioning while passing through portals. Flying plane stunt. If this footage is legit, the thought of having to slip into the spinning blades of the engine while pulling a stunt like this is horrifying. An old footage dating back to October 2007 shows a man with a parachute who, instead of jumping off the plane, decided to try his luck of balancing on the wing. With the plane being small and at low speed, he managed to stick around for several seconds before letting the throttling wind push him off the plane. Now, if this footage is real, this stunt was quite insane, especially when you consider the risk of slipping or just losing balance and landing on the blades. Close call with UFO. While almost every type of aircraft is monitored closely on the radar, the sudden appearance of UFOs remains unaccounted for. Back in 2017, a Dutch passenger was on board the Ryanair plane heading from Eindhoven, heading to Madrid, where she captured a UFO on camera. Coincidentally, the passenger was recording because she enjoyed the view, and after a few minutes into the recording, this UFO suddenly passed very close to the plane. The pilots made a sudden sharp maneuver by increasing speed and narrowly dodging the craft. If it weren't for the quick reflexes of the pilot, this plane wouldn't have made it to the ground in one piece. Snake on plane. Of all the snakes that you may come across, whether in the wild or an urban setting, you could never see any of them to be this civilized and rational. A passenger from Alaska Air Flight 2706, operated by Horizon Air, noticed a small black and white striped snake slithering beneath the passenger seats. Though such a moment usually creates an environment of panic, the calm demeanor of this snake was instead adored. As a result, the plane that was going from Reno to Portland didn't have to make an emergency landing. Lone passenger. While having to fly as a solo passenger on a commercial airline may have never happened before until this. Alex Simon, who is a blogger, shared this clip of him on a flight with Philippine Airlines to Boracay, with exactly no one on board apart from the pilots and the cabin crew. Now, it wasn't the only luck that played in his favor while backpacking through Asia, as the footage went, catapulting him to fame overnight. Unusual sneaky passenger. With the snake realizing how slim its chances would be in being treated just as another passenger, it may have taken the matter into its own hands. This TikTok upload, taken by one of the aeronautical engineers in Malaysia, shows a huge snake that was discovered and pulled out from the wing of the aircraft during a pre-flight inspection. The crewmen, who were no snake experts, took the risk of pulling it out while they were in fear of their safety. After all, no venomous snake that's being treated so unpleasantly would leave it all unanswered. Priest Plastic Gowan. Sometimes it is not just the mystical appearance of entities that leaves you perplexed, but also the behavior that, under normal circumstances, can't go unnoticed. In April 2013, this Orthodox Jewish plane passenger's picture was taken, having wrapped himself in a plastic bag during a flight and shared on Reddit. The man was believed to be a descendant of the Gowan, who were the priests of ancient Israel. Now, he wasn't wearing this out of concern of catching any germs or disease, but rather that they are banned from flying over cemeteries, as well as to segregate himself from women. Giant canine on board.
She is larger than the largest crate available, so she does not fit in the plane.
Having to fly in an aircraft with a canine, this giant would surely keep everyone around it at their best behavior. On a flight from California to New York, a 140-pound Great Dane required 2 seats for the 5-hour plane journey. Darwin the dog was initially slated to travel in a crate in the cargo hold, but her size proved too cumbersome. The dog's owner obtained approval from American Airlines to have Darwin accompany him in the cabin, as she serves as his service dog. Other passengers snapped numerous photos of Darwin as she comfortably stretched out across the seats during the flight.
Everybody was absolutely shocked that this ginormous creature was sitting on a plane.
Airport Reptile. Talk about a proper Florida greeting that you can expect to see all over the state. In the warm embrace of Florida's tropical allure, an unexpected guest casually graces the runway as an airliner taxis toward the airport gates. Captured from a passenger's seat aboard a Spirit Airlines flight bound for Orlando, the surreal scene unfolds as a giant alligator leisurely makes its presence known. With over 1 million of these prehistoric creatures calling Florida home, such encounters aren't entirely uncommon. The majestic reptile gracefully strides towards the adjacent wetlands, embodying the essence of the Sunshine State's untamed wilderness. Window seat nightmare. Everyone hopes to get the window seat until this development reveals the cons. On February 22, 2021, a window seat passenger captured this moment on camera when a Boeing 777 airplane was flying over Denver despite its engine having caught fire. The possibility of the engine either blowing up and sending debris towards the window seat or just simply ceasing to work left all on board hanging by thread. Fortunately, despite the condition of the plane, it landed safely, and no one was injured. Surely most, if not all, passengers that day must have lost the desire for the window seat. Overhead cargo compartment trouble. Be it a snake or now a scorpion, one has to wonder how these things from the wild end up in a commercial airliner. Passengers were horrified to discover a live scorpion that emerged from the overhead baggage compartment. The Lion Air Flight JT-293 departed from Sultan Syarif Qasim II International Airport in Pekanbaru, Indonesia, en route to Jakarta, where soon after landing ensued a panic. It was first discovered by a female passenger who rose to open the locker, and the venomous creature scuttled out. The dark black creature bore a resemblance to a heterometrous spinifer, often found in Indonesian forests, known for its potent sting. Rain freeze.
सामान बालाई खाने अकेले शख्स के नीचे रख दें
Most modern planes are very much capable of flying amid heavy rain, only in this instance, things took a dramatic turn. A passenger from Pakistan International Airlines captured this very rare moment, showing what he believes to be the aftermath effects of rain that soon started to free after the plane was done climbing from low to high altitude. In the footage, you can see a kind of blizzard that started to appear in the ventilation chambers of the airplane. What or how exactly this may happen, well, no one knows, but spectators believe it is a malfunction, if not poor maintenance.
आपसे गुजारिश है कि तमाम ऐसे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक आलात मोबाइल फोन पर या फ्लाइट मोड पर करें जिनके इस्तेमाल से जहाज का नेविगेशन और कम्युनिकेशन का निजाम मुतासर हो सकता है.
Embarrassing laboratory trouble.
The passenger was told to kick the door.
Of all the troubles that you could end up facing on an airplane, this one has to be the most embarrassing. In early March 2024, a video went viral on the internet where a plane passenger was being rescued from a bathroom after getting stuck for 35 minutes. The incident unfolded on a flight from Utah to Louisiana when the passenger found himself unable to unlock the door. With assistance from the pilot pulling from the outside and instructions to forcefully kick the door, the poor fellow was eventually freed from the lavatory after a tense 35-minute-long ordeal. MidFlight Stunt. This guy either changed his mind about flying in mid-flight or just that he wasn't in his right mind. Passengers on an American airline flight from New Mexico to Chicago took action to restrain a man who allegedly attempted to open the emergency exit door mid-flight. Witnesses recounted feeling a sudden rush of air as the man reportedly tried to pull the door open. Fortunately, the perpetrator was restrained just in time before the door could have opened. Upon landing, Albuquerque police intervened, apprehending the passenger and placing him in handcuffs. This perhaps is the moment where he should be locked and the keys thrown away. Abandoned passenger.
It was completely pitch black. I thought, this is a nightmare, this is not happening.
Of all the places where one could find themselves to be stuck, no one could have ever fathomed being left behind in a locked plane. Back in June 2019, Tiffany O'Brien, who was traveling from Quebec to Toronto on Air Canada, found herself stuck on an empty parked plane after falling asleep. Awakening to darkness and silence, she initially believed it was a nightmare. Panic gripped her as she realized the plane was devoid of passengers and far from any terminals. With her phone dying and no means to charge it in the powered-down aircraft, O'Brien grappled with the eerie solitude. It wasn't until her waiting friend called the relevant authorities that she was discovered eventually.
There's a sheer sense of helplessness when you feel like you're locked on this aircraft.
Flaming wing. Seeing a large fire under a wing is only a good thing if you have a real-life Ghost Rider on board. An American Airlines flight leaving out of Charlotte Douglas International Airport had to abandon the takeoff and return to the gate after a visibly huge flame was seen within the wing. The passengers on board, who were terrified of the incident, were reported by the airline to be mere mechanical difficulties. Had this issue arisen long after the plane took off, it would most likely have turned into a national tragedy.
Yeah, it's flaming.
Night sky black hole. While we might possess some means of defense against aliens or monsters, black holes present an insurmountable challenge. Shared on social media in December 2009, footage depicted a peculiar aperture distorting light in a spiral fashion, appearing to draw objects towards it. Witnesses disclosed that the events unfolded near the Skyjod military base in Norway. While some speculated it to be a military rocket or a UFO sighting, its interaction with light suggests a resemblance to a black hole, leaving observers to grapple with the ominous implications of such a phenomenon. Lost cabin cat retrieved. With pets being very rare found on the flight, the likelihood of them getting lost would be normal. A cat owner who after hours wasn't able to find the pet cat escalated the issue with the flight attendant, who, after several minutes of looking around, was able to find it and hand it back to the owner. Perhaps the cat got a bit too curious. When was the last time you saw a cat roaming the aisle on your flight? Airliners close distance flying.
170.
No one knows if this was done intentionally or happened as a consequence of a blunder. In April 2020, this footage was taken from the cockpit of an airliner, showing another one of its kind flying next to it at a very close distance. According to some of the viewers, this was a heavy formation low pass from 2A340 to 600 of South African Airways, marking as the last flight due to them going bankrupt. The pilots were allowed to do a flyby over Johannesburg International Airport. Resting bird. This bird may have figured out a way to get a free ride, or just that it was having a long day. A random upload was shared on social media showing a small bird that was found resting by the side of the engine of a plane soon after it landed, and was heading taxiing towards the airport. Thankfully, the bird wasn't anywhere in front of the engine. Also, a bird strike would have devastated consequences even for the plane. Terrorizing golden eagle. This eagle wasn't just trying to reach out about the plane's extended warranty, but rather standing against its existence. A golden eagle was captured trying to scratch and damage a low-flying aircraft while in mid-air. With planes usually being quite fragile, this eagle tried its best to take down its large competition. After making several flyovers and re-engaging the aircraft, it was finally said to have abandoned the pursuit. Passenger foot resting troubles. Do you know how annoying other passengers on board can sometimes be? Well, this one has gone a bit too far. A Chinese passenger who was flying was troubled by another passenger seated just behind her with his foot resting over her arm resting space. Considering the body language of the woman, it almost seems like she didn't complain or deal with the development, but rather let it pass by casually. Missing door plane. This is another reason why you might want to avoid window seats, as the risks far outweigh the benefits. A flight heading to Australia had one of its emergency doors break apart mid-flight, leaving everyone on board in fear for their lives. The cool-headed cabin crew and pilots, however, were able to safely land the plane. The cause of such an endeavor was primarily due to technical failure and improper safety inspection. Now it's time for today's open discussion. This picture of a giant bug staring into the flight window has been going around online. However, that's not how it was seen. A man captured this big bug on a tree branch outside his house. Huge eyes and thin, string-like structure on its back, it didn't look like any known insect. As the camera zoomed out, its humanoid figure became clear. Sitting on two legs and gripping the branch with its hands, it also had a strange, flat tail. Internet folks went wild with theories, with some thinking it was a hybrid creature, while others thought of a lab experiment gone wrong. But with no one to confirm its identity, the bug remained an unsolved mystery. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.